Hello, I'm Carl Jacobs and I'm co-founder and CEO of Apicbase. At Apicbase, we are building the world's best food and beverage management platform. But in this podcast series, it's all about finding answers on how to grow and scale your food service business. I'm talking to numerous experts and industry professionals who are passionate about building a healthy food service industry. Join me on this fascinating journey of entrepreneurship in food. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Food Service Growth Show. My name is Carl, and today I am presenting the podcast in a very new studio. We did a big upgrade, so we could actually keep the studio as is forever. So it's a big upgrade for the Food Service Growth Show. And the first one that is visiting the podcast in this new setting is Misa Jarvinen. She's head of operations of Restel in Finland. And as always, my first question, Misa, is who are you and what have you been doing in the past?
Thank you, Carl. My name is Misa Jarvinen, and I work for Restel, who operates Taco Bell Finland. And I have worked in the food industry, I would say more than 15 years, and all from fast casual to nightclubs to fast food. So you might say that I like things that in the food industry that are fast, because nightclub is also like you have to be really fast, and the fast food, and then also casual. But I have always had a really big passion for working in an international brand. So working for Taco Bell has been, I would like to say, like a dream come true, because there is in Taco Bell you get to know people from different cultures, and also work kind of abroad because we have the international side. And I think sometimes I say that this is not far from like my childhood dream, which was actually to be a pilot. And I did not get to, run airplanes, but I mean, I still get to see different cultures, different people, and I get to be a part of this amazing journey with Taco Bell. So I would say it's, I still get to pilot, this trip. So
Yeah. And in a way, as an operations manager, you are in the driver's seat, I guess.
yeah.
All right. So you say you've been in the food industry for 15 years.
Yeah.
Nightclubs, etc. I mean, was it always in an operational role, or did you start out as a waiter, or how did you get in there?
I started as doing the dishes. That's where I started.
Yes.
And it basically went like we had this cafe. We used to hang out with friends, and then I heard the bar owner talking about that they're short-staffed, and I was like, well, I can come and work, that they
And
need it
that's
for
how
a
it started.
weekend. Yeah, exactly. They were like, do you know how to do the dishes? I said, well, yeah, and that's how it started. And then I got interested in doing more and found that I liked the hectic surroundings and like the customer service. So yeah, so it just started out by, first doing something while I'm studying, and then I went the normal way, so to speak, from cleaning tables to bartender, and then I went to food side and to waitress, and
So
yeah.
you've seen and done it all.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, you mentioned it shortly, but you're working, of course, for Taco Bell, or for the brand Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Maybe, of course, this is a quite iconic brand, but still, I mean, not so much in Europe. Can you talk to us about what is Taco Bell? Why is Taco Bell such an iconic brand?
I'm really happy to say that Finland has been one of the first. I mean, in the Nordics, we are still the only. Let's hope not for long. So I'm really, really happy that we get to go on this journey as one of the first countries. And I would say makes it iconic is the people. And the people is kind of the touch of the brand. And the brand is about always making something more. So we say that we put a bit more flavor, like mass flavor, mass heart into the customer service, into the product, and want to be a bit, rebel, I would say.
All right, and that actually brings me to a very the next question, basically, which is you talk about people, and
Yeah.
So can you explain it a little bit, because that's a very unique kind of way of approaching what makes something unique, because most people say it's the concept or it's the food, but you say it's the
Yeah.
people. Why is it the people?
Well, the people is when you come into a restaurant, that's what you're gonna meet is the people, and so I would say you have to concentrate that what you kind of sell is what you believe in. So of course, concept is really important, but it doesn't matter if your people don't believe in it. So that's why I say that the people are kind of, your crew is the touch of the brand, because that is what you will feel as a customer when you come inside. And that is, I would say, in all businesses, it comes down to the people and the customer, because the customer has to come back. So of course, it matters about your product, how good it is. But if you have the wrong people selling it, it might kind of lose the meaning. So, but yeah, that's why I say the people are, and we have really good onboarding on Taco Bell, which I was like positively surprised that even a company this big, global, the support, the training was really good, and I felt like I was like welcomed really strongly, which was really nice, and. But
All
that
right.
I would say also makes it iconic is
Yeah.
the way we treat people.
Yeah, nice. And then that means that hiring people is something that's extremely important. Are you
Yeah.
directly involved in the hiring of people in the businesses that you manage?
Yeah. Of course, I help wherever there is needed help, and of course, with the restaurant managers, I take part. But I usually say that if the managers, they need to hire their own people, because they need to feel the team, and it needs to be built up. We can't, if I only hire people that look like me, we won't grow. So so we need to have different kind of people with different kind of ideas, and we welcome everybody, and that's what makes us special.
All right. And then in terms of recruitment, what are the specifics you're looking for when you recruit somebody? Do you have a specific set? Is it skills? Is it character? What is it that makes somebody suitable for working at Taco Bell?
I would say it's character, that we can teach you anything. We have really good training, so I don't feel that it's ever a question if you will learn it or not. It's more that, do you want to learn it? So of course we want different kinds of skills and different kind of people, but it's more like kind of a yes we can attitude is what we're looking for. And then of course the person also has to kind of buy us as an idea. So they have to believe in the product we're selling, the feeling we're selling, the experience. So it has to be like a match. It's not about we choosing them. It's also that they need to choose us.
Yeah. That's a nice analogy what you're using there. Now, back to head of operations.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what is a week or a month as a head of operations looking like at Taco Bell?
Oh, that's such hard questions. It's my day is like, how would I say? My most important job is to make sure my team has everything they need to succeed. And you often hear me asking in the restaurants if there's anything I can do for them. Is there anything we can make easier? I love making things easier. And whatever they kind of need from me to make it sure that they can grow, and that is what basically I would say 50% of my time is. Other than that, of course, we also have to make profit, so and expand. So those will take like half of the other time. But I would like to say that there's always time for the people and the staff, because without them there is no business.
And can you give me an example of, if you ask the question, how can I make your life easier? What
Yeah.
are then the questions that you get, or what are the things that, or maybe the last thing you changed, or the
Yeah.
last thing you accommodated?
Well, yeah, actually, one like this happened last year. A team member, we had a really big like campaign with aggregator, so free delivery, and I was in a restaurant and I was thinking like, somehow we have to make this easier, but if I don't work on the line on daily basis, I don't see the same things. And then a team member said that she doesn't want to, her whole day goes by that she types from one machine to another. So we will get the information of the order to our kitchen, that she doesn't feel that this is what she wants to do. And it's kind of stressful. And I said, okay, but there has to be some kind of program from this. I mean, we're not the only one in the world who is facing this. And then I basically Googled it.
That's what you do when you have an issue.
Exactly. Yeah, what Google doesn't know, you don't need to know. But so then I find these different kind of solutions, and then I gave it to our IT that, hey, this is I calculated that we can take this task off, they can do something else, and we will have less mistakes. And now we have now Delivery Act, who is now the program, and we have had it for now, I would like to say 6 months, 7 months.
And it
So
has solved the issue of the girl that asked this to you.
yes, it has.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic story, actually. And if you then talk about operations from, let's say, a franchisee point of view, because if I'm not mistaken, you're actually working for Restel, or at least for Taco Bell, but it's operated by Restel. So you're taking actually the franchise into Finland. Most of the time I talk to people that kind of want to franchise their business and that they are the owners of the idea. So now I'm talking to somebody who is actually executing on somebody else's idea.
Yeah.
How does that work? How difficult is it to make sure that every day again, the wishes of the franchisor, Taco Bell International in this case, is actually that they are granted, basically, and that you're doing what you need to do in order to be a good franchisee?
We have to, because when we have a big brand, then we have to kind of feed on each other in that way that we cannot do something solo here in Finland. And let's say the UK would do something different, because the outcome is bad. Because when I travel to, let's say, the UK, if I would not work for Taco Bell, I go eat there, I come to Finland. If it's totally different, it's not good for either one of us.
No.
But we have a really good support system on the international side, people helping us, helping us to make, tacos famous in Finland. And mostly we have to remember that we need to be globally consistent, because we are a big brand, but we can still be locally relevant. So of course there is market differences, and they need to also be market differences, because people like different things. For example, when Taco Bell came to Finland, when we had the vegetarian meal, we had plant-based, because in Finland plant-based was already a thing. But then again, in the overseas, they have beans, but the beans don't work in Finland. So in these things we have locally differences, but we're still, I would say, we're still globally consistent, and of course we're always checking with the international side, and I would say,
Yeah. So if you talk then about this consistency, I mean,
Yeah.
am I right in assuming that you have a uh, someone working for Taco Bell Finland to make new menus or to make new recipes or to adapt them, or how do I have to imagine that?
No, we don't invent in that way anything
Mm-hmm.
totally new. If we do, we sometimes have like these themes or limited time offers. We always check that is this something inside of our portfolio that we can
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we don't have anybody,
No. Okay.
making menus. It's no, but we
So
do have,
how
yeah,
does how does that come into being? Like you have the plant-based thing and you make
yeah.
it or vegan and you make it plant-based, or um, how does this happen then? Is this internationally decided, or is this you guys that say, this won't work? Can we do something differently, or how does the new recipe then comes into existence?
It's more like that we do it together. It's usually it comes from us that hey, we feel like this would work better, and then of course you cannot. You have to also ground it or something. You cannot just. There has to be some facts behind what you're suggesting also,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't go like totally wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then we suggest it, and then we discuss about it. And I would say it's a joint decision that I don't feel like neither one is pushing anything. That we always follow some kind of decision.
All right. Okay. And then in terms of support you get, is there kind of a weekly or a yearly or a monthly kind of way of working together with, let's say, the headquarters, or how is that structured?
Yeah, we have of course ongoing meetings, monthly, weekly. But I feel I can whenever I need something, I can just pick up my phone and call
All
or
right. So,
send
so
WhatsApp.
there's a direct, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a direct line to the Taco Bell business
Yeah.
internationally. That's really nice, actually. And well, in terms of we've talked a little bit about head of operations, a team, and then you also mentioned the expansion. Can you tell us a little bit about how an expansion is how you're expanding basically the business, and what are the steps that you take to open up a new restaurant? Are you involved in that?
Yeah, and we actually have an opening coming now in December. We're opening our 17th store in Tampere.
Mm-hmm.
So we already have one store in Tampere, and second one is coming. About expansion, Finland is not that big, so we also have to be. You don't want to just take kind of any locations just to have locations. You need to also, make business, and it has to be make sense in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing is that we're looking at different places, and when we get something interesting, then of course we start calculating. Will this be? What do we think it's gonna sell? What do we think? How long it's gonna take it to pay it back, and then either we go forward or we don't. But we are
Mm-hmm.
really I would say we're really smart about it, that
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a need to make a lot of stores. We want
Mm-hmm.
to make it like that they make sense.
Yeah, yeah, all right. And if you look then to Finland as a whole, and you say now 17
Yeah.
outlets, what is the potential of Finland as a country? Can you elaborate on that, or is this something we shouldn't discuss? It's totally fine if it's not.
Yeah, I can't. I think the market is a bit different now than it was like 5, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I can't really comment on that. What we
Mm-mm.
have in mind.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. No problem whatsoever. Let's move on to a question about food cost, something that is, of
Yeah.
course, dear and near to me. Um, uh, can you tell me how important is food cost, and important is it that you monitor the food cost, or is this something that is extremely set and always always the same, or is this something that you monitor from a week to week?
We monitor it, and we try to keep the cost towards the customer low. So we don't want to automatically bring the food cost rising towards the customer if we can find another solution. But it's really important that our meals are high quality and that the customer comes and they pay, that they will get what they paid for. So I don't approve any so low on the meals that's not the way to save. And if you're building a brand, it's really important that you're consistent, and the customer needs to know when they come to Taco Bell, so this is what you will get for your money. But of course, everybody's worried about the food cost and going up. And
yeah, and is it also the case for you guys? And can you tell us a little bit about maybe how much it has risen for you, and is this becoming an issue, or are you keeping it under control?
we're keeping it under control. Of course, it involves everybody who is it involves you if you go to the supermarket and buy food home.
Yeah.
So nobody can escape this. So we're controlling it, and we're trying to find other ways to expand, and as I said, we don't want to.
Raise
You cannot
the prices.
you cannot indefinitely raise prices towards customers. So that's not that's an easy way, but it's not the right way.
All right. Let's move then into technology. I heard you mentioning a little bit earlier about the technology you implemented, to take care of all the orders that are incoming from customers. How important is technology in today's Taco Bell or within Restel, and how digital are you working today?
I would say technology gives you a lot of opportunities, and of course, you have to also choose the solutions that make it easier. There are also all kinds of solutions that can make it just harder. But for us, we try to do as much as possible digital, so that it helps our team in the restaurants and kind of take these tasks out of their hand, that they don't feel that they're needed for them to kind of have a person to do that.
And so if you look into the ecosystem of Taco Bell or the businesses that you help running, what are the technologies that you are using in order to make life easier for both your customers and for your employees?
Well, for food safety is through an app, what we check every day. So it's really good because that also gives us opportunity to when something is wrong, so they will send kind of alarm to us. So we will in that way find out. And then, as I said, Delivery Act brings the orders, and then we have self-service kiosks a lot.
Yes, of
So
course. Yeah.
yeah, so and Finnish people love using these, so they're not afraid of using technology, which is really good, and that of course also helps in that way that more customers can do. There is no like queuing that way. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt quickly there, because that intrigues me. If you look at the kiosks versus, let's say, at the cashier orders, how is that percentual divided? Are there more people using the kiosks than they are using the waiter at the cash desk?
Yeah, kiosks. I think the kiosks are definitely more used, and I think that changed during COVID.
Of course, yeah. That is a typical
Yeah.
thing that happened. Human contact has been removed.
Yeah, so it kind of forced you to use other ways, but as I said, Finnish people are not that coy with technology. They love using it. So for us, it's mostly IP. We call it IP kiosk, but self-service kiosk is that is really
a big thing.
yeah.
And these kiosks, they for sure produce a lot of data. How are you working with that data? Is this something that you're using on a daily basis to improve ordering or inventory management or things like that? Or how do you do that?
Yeah. Of course, we look at the whole data, but of course, from the self-service kiosks, of course, we investigate and think, and could we make it also easier? And but most and all, we try to listen to the customer. So I encourage if somebody sees a customer kind of wandering around on the self-serve, go and ask what is like do you need help and so on. And most often then we also get kind of the feedback that it's really hard to go from this section to that section, and then we're like
Yeah.
because it might prevent you from ordering if it's too difficult. So
Oh, that's interesting information indeed. That's so customer feedback, of course, remains always very important in any case. Can you tell me, or do you want to elaborate? What I find curious is to understand these kiosks. They are often seen as replacers of people. Is this something that is actually true? I mean, can you kind of cut in terms or not find the people that you would need in order to take all of the orders, and that you now can replace by a machine? Is this something that is really true, or is this a myth?
Of course, always when new things come, it has in that way. Of course, it will reduce the time spent on the cashier, so to speak. But then also we have to remember that other things has also come kind of on the kitchen side. So I wouldn't say for us it has not reduced the manpower, because there has been increased on the other side, so to speak, tasks. So what has come more has been like food safety things has come more because of COVID and so on. More things has to be done, so more tasks is kind of coming on that side, and so it has more like shifted, and somebody also has to take care of our self kiosks.
Yeah,
They
of course.
don't operate on themselves there, so I would say it's hard to there is not a yes or no, because if we didn't have those, maybe we should hire then also more, because more tasks has come, but that's how evolution goes, that something is less, something is more.
All right. Maybe back to Taco Bell Finland and in general, from a company perspective. Can you tell us a little bit on how the business is structured? I mean, is there obviously you probably have a CEO on the top, and then a CFO in headquarters, but how is it then organized in terms of country managers or region managers, and how is this the organization structured from a human perspective?
Yeah, so we have a CEO, of course, a CEO on the company, and under him is then our chain CEOs, and then we head of operations are then under them.
All right. Okay, so you directly report to the chain CEO.
Yes. So yeah.
And how many chains are there operated by Restel?
We have totally. I have to calculate. I think I would say like 5 or 6, because we have all different kinds of like branches. So we have I think a good saying is that we offer food services from morning to dawn. So you can find us in arenas, you can find us in malls, you can find us wherever you're hungry, you should find us somewhere close.
train stations as well?
Taco Bell don't have train stations, but Restel has train stations also.
Yes.
We have.
Yeah.
So, and then how the build-up is, it's a bit more difficult, but we have fast food and we have bars and events. So
All right.
you should survive by eating in our places.
All right, that's great to hear. I- so, can you give me maybe for the listeners in your role as a head of operations? I mean, what are the what is one of the most important learnings you've had in the past years as head of operations, and what people need to know if they ever come in a position like yours?
I would say the most important thing to learn is to believe in yourself. And when you have a vision, you should be courageous enough to go after it. And workplace and the people you work with is really important, because when you're in that great workplace, you're more courageous to try new things and express your opinion, and that way everybody grows. And don't be afraid to hire people that are better than you, because that's the only way you can as a team grow.
Nice. And then, is there maybe a question to finalize our conversation, and also one that I ask to all of my podcast guests? How do you see the future of F&B, and what's next? What's the next trend that we have to keep in mind?
Oh my God, this is always like this is a hard question, because I feel like the world is kind of moving really fast. But I feel that is also like a trend, and I feel that at the moment what we're seeing is kind of what is kind of pushing from overseas towards us is kind of this do it for me trend. So what customers want is when they come to a restaurant, they want it fast, they want it to be easy, and it also needs to be done for them. And we want to enjoy life. So I can see that people don't really want to maybe take down on the cost of life per se. They still want to travel. And even though, now when all interests are going high and people are talking about the inflation, in Finland was just a few weeks ago the most busiest day on the airport in the last 3 years. And this, I think, kind of brings it all together, that we are ready to kind of put the heat down a few degrees and be home in a sweater, but we won't give up traveling.
No, yeah.
So this is maybe that wasn't before, and I also feel like people still want to go out and eat, and they need to be fast, be high tempo. So you don't really, when I was in my 20s, I had to come home at 9 o'clock to watch Desperate Housewives, because that was the time it was
Of
shown.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it doesn't matter. When I come home, I can watch it on Netflix. So
Yes.
so that's maybe I feel it's really strong, and people don't want to give up on the experience, which I think also is great, because I think we need to live the life also.
Yeah. And how do you think that a company like Taco Bell will play into that trend? I mean, how will your role be influenced by this?
Yeah, I think for us it's more for us at the moment is to make tacos famous. That is what we are saying, that it's different. For example, a hamburger brand, because everybody knows what a hamburger is. So Taco Bell is still in Finland, not that known. People come to us and they don't really know what they should eat. So I want them to come to us and know that, okay, I want that Crunch Wrap Supreme, or I want that Taco Supreme. So that is what my number one job now is, to get everybody to taste Taco Bell. And then also to be fast, because people are on the clock all the time. So we need to be fast. The food needs to be good, and then and everything kind of needs to work smoothly for the customer. So everything when you come into the restaurant needs to just click. So
All right. Last question. What is your favorite Taco Bell dish?
I just told a coworker today that my favorite is the crunchy taco and crunchy taco supreme, which means it has sour cream on it. So I know, boring in that way, but I think that's the ultimate best one, and it's also quick and fast. So I love that about it.
All right. And is this also the most sold Taco Bell dish, or what is the most sold Taco Bell dish?
Well, it's funny because it actually depends on the city. So, but
Right.
it's in the top 3, and then we also have our crunch wrap. So that and crunchy taco, I would say, is depending on the city. But yeah, those 2 are most popular, and they're both really delicious. But I'm a sucker for classics, so
A classic it
so
is.
yeah, so crunchy taco.
Misa Jarvinen, thank you very much for this chat. And
Thank you.
to my listeners, see you next time.